It's impossible to look at the future of work without considering the impact of everywhere work. In fact, how many of you are at companies requiring you to come back to the office full-time? I don't see many hands at all. That's consistent with the findings from the Ivanti report I just mentioned. In our report, 85% of business leaders we surveyed support flexible work environments. Only 15% of them still believe employees should be in the office full-time. What's interesting, we've been doing this report for 3 years, and over 3 years, we've seen a significant upward trend in leadership support for remote, hybrid, and flexible work. So I know you're all very familiar with remote and hybrid models, and in fact, this room is full of IT and security professionals, again, that make it happen for your organizations. But I want to take a minute to talk more about this concept of flexible work. In a nutshell, flexible work focuses not just on where people work, but also on when and how they work. In other words, it gives people the freedom to adapt their hours and work styles to fit their lives and personalities. And rather than forcing into the same old Monday through Friday 9 to 5, those days are over. Flexible work allows for more. It's a big deal, and for a lot of different reasons. Today, again from the research, 80% of knowledge workers say that a flexible model is highly valuable to them. More than 40% say they would quit their jobs to gain more flexibility. And we all know the war for recruiting talent and maintaining talent is real. And in our business, you could nearly call it a crisis mode for retaining our teams. Our guest speaker, Sam Rad, told me her most creative thinking happens when she's far away from traditional office environments. And as an entrepreneur who's founded 4 different companies, she views the future of work with nearly limitless flexibility. Here at Ivanti, I can tell you flexible work is also at the center of our vision for everywhere work. We've fully embraced the notion of employee flexibility. It's had a transformative effect on our employees, our business, and quite frankly, our culture. And I really can't imagine a reason why we'd go back to in-office full-time. All of that said, this move to flexible everywhere work also really presents some big challenges. And these numbers help tell that story. By 2025, our world will include 75 billion devices connected somehow to a network, and 175 zettabytes of data. And Gartner predicts that 75% of enterprise-generated data will be created and processed outside traditional data center or cloud, kind of what we call the edge. So how do we manage to protect all that data? How do we manage to protect all those devices? How do we ensure the security of every employee's network access when most of them live outside traditional enterprise environments? These are tough questions. And they're questions that this room is responsible for answering for your various organizations. Everywhere work is also pushing the capacities of IT and security teams to the very limits. Again, according to our research, 55% of IT workers say help desk ticket volume is up compared to last year. And that increase can mainly be attributed to, again, remote or everywhere work. It's also important to note that this represents more than just a post-pandemic bump. We've seen consistent, steady increases in help desk ticket volume over the past 3 years. So it appears to be a persistent, steadily growing issue. And of course, this is already a difficult environment. Cybersecurity threats on the rise. Don't I know it? During the past 12 months, 35% of executives report that their data was targeted by an attack. And we all know, I don't think anybody would disagree, that number is going to grow. So these everywhere work challenges, the explosion of data and devices, increased workloads, escalation of threats, along with a shortage of talent and a risk of keeping your talent, have changed the game for all of us in this room and the industry. You have become the center of your organization's productivity and efficiency efforts. And you are now challenged not only to drive those efforts forward, but to deal with these massive headwinds at the same time.